Alright, welcome back. In the previous video, we completed the homepage. Now we are going to start working on the advisor page. So the advisor is where we're going to display all the services that we have in our application. So let's get started by creating this new page. And in Next.js, you can just, since we're using the app router, we can right click on app, create a new folder, and whatever we name this folder, that's going to be the name of the route. So we're going to create advisor, and then inside of that folder, we're going to create a new file called page.tsx, and this file should always be named page.tsx inside of the folder for the matching page. So we always need page here or page. This is a name that is going to be unique to the pages. So now inside of the page here, let's create export defaults and function advisor, and in here we're going to return a main tag. Inside of the main tag, we're going to have an h1. H1 is going to say AI stocks advisor. There we go. And then right under the h1, we're going to have a paragraph, which is going to say the same thing that we have at the beginning on the slogan on the page. So we're going to copy. Where is it? Oh, it's in the other component. So let's just type it out. Unlock the future of investing with AI. Cool. So now let's keep it here for now. And now we should be able to click on the navigation bar here to go to that page. And here we go with the H1 and the paragraph. They here, very little. So let's set this to class name. Let's say the height to full, or let's set it to screen. Oh wait, did I save that? Screen, to push it down. Cool, just to push it down for now. And then in here, let's go ahead and say P-20. Let's do font-sans for now. The H1, let's have a class name here, and let's do text-3XL, font dash, let's do extra bold, and save. Whoops. There we go. Now that's for the H1. For the paragraph, let's do class name. And let's set this to text-center, and then margin 1-32, font-bold, and let's do text-3XL. Let's keep it there. Now down here we're gonna have like cars, which is going to render the different services that we have. So in order to do that, let's go and let's create a lib folder. So inside of the app, right click, new folder, lib. So in here we can right click and create a new file. Let's call it services-data.ts. And I'm gonna go ahead and copy just an array of services that we have. that we're gonna have, so we can map over that and render different cars. So I'll show you here what we have. We have an array. We have the type here of the objects. We're gonna have an array of objects that is gonna have a name, description, an href, and an icon, which is gonna be of one of these values here. This is a type union here. So the icon can only be of these values here. And if you want another icons, you can change it in here. So here in the first object, we can see we have the name for the service, the href, where we are going to navigate the user if they click on this card that we're going to put together, the description, and the icon that we're going to use. So let's go ahead and save this data and close this and import it in here. So import services from let's do add / or we can just do that /. Let's do the whole thing. Add / app / lib / service data and save. Is declared, never use. So right now we have that in here. And now let's go ahead and we're gonna map over this, but we need to render a car with the information. So we're gonna have a div here where we're gonna map over the cars. So before we can map over the cars, we need to create the service car. So let's go into the UI folder, right click, new file, service-car.csx. And here we're going to put together the car component, and let's go ahead and export default function service card, and let's return. Here we're just going to return a link. Let's do parentheses link, so we can import the link. Inside of the link, we are going to have a div, and inside of that div, we're going to be displaying another div, and this is going to display the name, right? So we're going to take in the name, the description. We're going to receive the href and the icon. In here we're going to display the name. In here we're going to use the href and pass the href. Then we're also going to display the description right on the inside of this div. Let's stay inside of this div. Description. We can take care of the icon in a second. So right now is complaining because TypeScript doesn't know his value is never read. Icon is defined, never used. Binding icon, please don't type any. So let's have let's see. So let's import the icons, because right now we could, let's start with these type. So let's say type for the props, let's say service car props in here equals, and then curly brackets. So we're going to have a name, which is a string. Then we're going to have a description, also a string. Then we're going to have the href, which is also a string. And then the icon let's keep the icon in here. Let's put it there in a second. Let's pass this in here. So colon service card props. Now the icon is the only thing that it doesn't know about. So let's import all the icons that we're gonna use. So I'm going to go and say import, and let's use hero icons. So let's do hero icons. So we can go and install these icons in here. And we're gonna go and let's go to the documentation on GitHub, scroll down, and here's the npm command. Let's type our terminal, paste it in here, hit enter. So we're gonna use this library from the same people that created Tailwinds, and they're really nice looking icons in there. So we can go back in here and see which ones we have. Right now I'm going to pick some of these icons already that I looked up, but feel free to change those icons to whatever you think is best. So now we're running again. Now we're going to import let's look at the name. So we're gonna get the Sparkle, let's say from add hero icons react dash let's do react 24/solid, and let's find the Sparkle icon. Let's have the face smile icon, the pencil square icon, the document chartboard icon. Let's do the cube transparent icon, and then the fire icon. And those are the ones I'm going to be using. Now let's have a object here that will map to the names. So let's say cons icons map equals an object, and let's give the names here. So Sparkles is going to be the Sparkles icon, then we're going to have the smile, and these names are going to match the ones that we define in the data here. So these names are going to be matching these names. So smile is going to be the smile, face my icon, personal. And this is kind of like just a quick way to have everything clear in here, all the icons and the names for those. Let's do the pencil square icons. Then inside is going to be the document chart icon, and then we're going to have the simulation is going to be the cube transparent icon, and risk will be the fire icon here. Cool. So let's now, we can have we had the map, right? Where we're going to now, what I'm trying to do here is that now that we have kind of like a map here, that we have the name that maps to each one of these icons. Now what I can do is to go into the component here, in here, and say, let's do const icon, and then equals icons map square brackets icon. So we're gonna use the value that gets passed from the data. Where is data? In lib, in here. So we're gonna use these values, sparkles. So we're going to access that in there, whatever icons we're gonna use. And we're gonna say that sparkles is gonna be this with this icon here. And now we can just render the icon. Let's render that. Let's change this div to a paragraph. And let's have the icon right before the paragraph. So icon, like so. And to the icon, let's add a class name. And we're gonna set the size. Now what I want. Size of the icon to 14. Cool. So we're gonna receive the icon. We're gonna use the value to map it to the names here. So sparkles is gonna use this icon here, and it will render the icon in there. The only thing here is that we still don't have a type for the icon, so we can say now icons here, or icon singular, is going to be, we're going to use we're going to create a, let's create a type on, let's create a type here using the, let's say, type icon key, and we're just gonna use the key of and type of to look at the icons map to create a type from this keys, and use the type of this icon, and then this is the type we're gonna be passing here. Cool. So now the car is almost ready. We just need to pass the styles we want to use. So before we do that, let's just map over the cars, the services, so we can display the different cars. So in here, inside of the div, let's do curly brackets services that map. We're gonna grab each service, and for each service we're going to parentheses here, hit enter, and in here let's render a ServiceCard Component, and we're just going to do curly brackets and a spread service, so we can pass all the props, and then say key is going to be service that name. Come on. Cool. So now we're mapping over this. We are rendering a ServiceCard component, passing all the properties of the service. So let's save that, refresh this. I don't see anything here yet. It's compiling the page. There we go. Cool. So now is okay. It's rendering the data. It's rendering the icons here. I don't know about the smiley's face anymore, but let's see. Let's see what we do about that. So let's go back to the advisor page and let's add these styles to this div here, which is going to be a grid. So let's do class name, grid, and then we're going to use grid calls to for the small size. And then we're going to say for a medium size screen, we're going to use grid dash calls dash 3 columns. For a large screen, we want to use grid calls 4. And then we're going to use a gap of 4. And then in medium size screen, we're going to use a gap of 5. And then let's do margin wide dash 5. Cool. All right, so right now we have 2 columns. And now if we make it a medium size, 3 columns, large should be 1, 2, 3, 4 columns in there. All right, now this is overflowing here. So we have, let's do full. There you go. All right, cool. So now we got the cars. We can hover over these and we could click on this, but we don't have the pages. So we work on that next. But before we do that, let's go into the service car because we need a little bit of styling in here, or should I say it a lot of styles. Let's try to do this one quick. So on the link here, class name, let's do on hover, we're going to do scale to 105, just to scale a little bit. Transition on, let's say transition, just transition, and then ease in and out. And let's do max dash width dash 72 to contain that to 72. Cool. Now let's go into the div class name. Let's do flex for the car. So this is the actual car inside. Let's do flex dash call. And let's do justify around. Whoops, justify around. Justify around? Yes, justify around. Items, dash center. Let's do height of 80. Let's do max dash width dash 72. And let's also do border. Let's do border dash 2 so it can be a little bit thicker. Now let's do bg dash slate 800. And again, you can do your own cars if you want. I'm not really happy with this yet, but it's a star. Rounded, we'll make it round in the corners. And let's see, padding of 5. And let's do border dash green 200. Oops, dash green dash 200. What else? And then shadow MD medium, and then shadow dash green 200 as well. Cool. They could be a little bit wider, I believe, but this is what we have at the moment. Cool. And the scaling is okay. Could be a little bit less, but that's okay. Looks good for me for now. Right, so now we got 3. And now when the user clicks on the stack prediction, sentiment analysis, or any of these services, they should be navigated to the page where they can use the service. So that's good with the cars. Let's go and see the name. Oh, on the name here, let's do a class name. Forgot about this one. Let's do it real quick. Text-XL. Let's do font-bold. And let's do max-width-48. So I contain that in there, and text-center. There you go. Oh, it looks better now. It was missing that. Cool. Again, feel free to go back in here, look at different icons, and change the icons if you want. You can use another library. You can do anything you want. Cool. So now we're ready to allow the user to click on the services car here, and then they should be able to navigate to the service. And the first one here, remember, when you hover over this, you can see at the bottom of the page here, where at the bottom here, you're going to see the address where this is going to go. So it's going to go to /prediction. This is going to go to sentiment analysis, personalized planning. And for now, we're going to work on the stock prediction here, where we're going to get a short prediction based on the stock historical data. So we are going to use an API service, which is going to give us 2 years of the historical data. So price, how much did it open, how much did it close. There's a lot of information for each stock every day for 2 years back. So what we're going to do, we're going to use that data to pass it to the OpenAI GPT model. And the model is going to use that data to predict how the stock will behave. And from there, we'll continue with another service. So I believe that's it for now. In the next section, we are going to start working on the service. So I'll see you there. Thank you.